fresh out the box. Stop, look and watch. Ready yet? Get set. It's all that.
Y'all know the vibes. OD Vibes, Me Too Live. Your favorite music influencer from the one and only Boston, City of Champs. Because what we do when, I'm a little teary-eyed because why it gotta be Game 7? Why it gotta be Game 7? We out, but we did our best. That's what I can't say. Celtics in 7, and there's always a parade in my city. So, yeah.
Period.
We in the building tonight with my good friend, go-getter, understands and is repping Boston wherever she go. Period. Give it up for 31 Visions. Hey. Hey, girl. I'm so happy to have you on today. Finally, right? Period.
This is my real friend in real life.
No, real life. Like, no, seriously, like, no, like, for real. Like, we really do this. We're really friends. And, yeah, really in motion. Doing what we got to be doing out here. Representing for the city.
All the time.
Following our dreams. Yeah. And, yeah, that's what life is all about. So how you feeling today?
I feel blessed. I feel good. I feel happy to be here.
Right.
I feel good to be back in the city.
Back in the city, right?
Finally.
All the way from the A.
From Atlanta.
Period.
And I'm happy to be here with you.
Happy to have you here. Period. So, 31, photographer, videographer, in the mix, especially when it comes to the music scene.
Yeah.
Being that for them. Talk about it. Talk about, like how you got started. What was your influence, like for real, to even get into photography?
Well, my dad I grew up around cameras. My dad would film everything. When me and my older brother were kids, he would film everything. We have like so much footage of basically our whole lives growing up. And when he was younger, he used to shoot for the Celtics at the old TD Garden when he was like 14, 15 years old, because you didn't have to have a media pass. You could he would sit behind the bench. Yeah, no, seriously. And my grandfather, his father used to tell me, like, he would come home from the Celtics games and he would go to the bathroom and turn the bathroom into a dark room and, like, develop all the photos. And then go the next game and get them signed and then go the next game. So just hearing about cameras always interested me. My parents bought me my first one when I was, like, 14. And then I stopped doing it for a while, and now I'm just working my way back in.
So at that age of 14, what type of pictures were you taking at that time, kind of?
Really the same type of photos I'm taking now. I'm just in a different scene. I really have always been attracted to, like, lifestyle, like real life, real time photos, not really planned shoots, just taking photos of people, like, in the real life, real time.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, I feel you, like candid type style.
Yeah, just going out and just taking photos of people.
Period. I've always, like, definitely liked that. Like, for me, because, like, I mean, some of y'all don't know, but, like, even how I started in the music game kind of was, like, rapping, but also taking pictures.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you. Like, there were certain times, like, going to certain venues, like, I'm there because, like, no one's asking for a media pass. I have a camera. I'm in the front type time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
period.
So I definitely agree, like, taking pictures of the live scene is, like, definitely A1. And it's crazy, like, you're mentioning your father played for the Celtics. We're talking about champs, city champs. Feel me? So, feel me? Like, champ shit.
Period.
So, also, did your, like, dad, like, teach you anything? Or is there anything that you guys, like, talk about, in a sense, when it comes to photography and, like, skills and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, when I was 14, when I first got the camera, he didn't teach me much. I wasn't so serious about it. Obviously, I was just doing it kind of just because it made me feel happy. I remember telling my mom at that age, at 14, like, I put the camera on my neck and I felt comfortable and confident. So I remember that feeling. That feeling is the same feeling that I have now. But, I mean, when I picked up the camera back in 2020, January of 2021, he would teach me a few little things, but a lot of it was just me learning on my own. and he would give me little hints or little things to look out for. But he knows he knows I'm kind of independent when it comes to that, so he kind of lay off a little bit, let me do it on my own. Yeah,
that's cool. Right. Because it's kind of crazy. Like your name's Vision, and it's like a lot of things. Sometimes in general with photography is like visual. You have to kind of like do it for real. And I know we've talked about stuff like you kind of like a hands-on person. Like you got to just do it. To basically experience. That's dope. That's cool. So obviously you're from the Bean. Yeah. But you grew up in Maine.
I grew up in Maine. I grew up in the boonies. Yeah.
So did you have any like influence there in terms of like photography or just being in the like media music scene with that?
So where I grew up in Maine, it's really rural. Kind of like the middle of nowhere, but Portland was it was Portland and Boston that were the two cities that I gravitated towards, and Manchester a little bit too, but in both cities, just the hip hop is what I loved, and I longed to be in a city so bad growing up. I think that's why I moved to Boston as soon as I turned 18, and then moved to Atlanta the year after because I just love being in the city, the music and the people and the action, and I just longed to be in the city growing up. So I think that's what made me gravitate towards being without it, like being just in the middle of nowhere and not being able to be in the city made me want to be in the city, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, definitely transitioning. So how would you say, like, because obviously Boston is a different scene than Atlanta scene to an extent. So like what are the differences between like Boston and Atlanta scene just in general,
Well, Atlanta's bigger. So that, there's been a lot of adjustments. There's a lot more people. You walk around and you'll see, you'll just see celebrities. It's pretty normal to see celebrities just kind of being around. But I remember the first time I went down when I was still living in Boston last year in April, so 2022 in April. I went down and visited Atlanta. I went by myself. I went for 3 days, got an Airbnb, had no plans at all, just wanted to go visit before I moved down there. And I ended up going to I randomly reached out to K-Camp's manager. It happened to be his birthday. Met him, and then I started, when I actually moved down there, I was at his studio every day shooting for K-Camp, working with K-Camp. So, I just think there's like opportunity. You just have to be aware and open to it, that like it's different than Boston in that way, where opportunities are really right in front of you all the time, depending on, what you're looking for. But for me, I just had to be open. So
that's a good point. I definitely agree. Like, it seems like you're taking that risk in a sense, and it's like sometimes they say if you want something you never had, you got to do something you never done, and it's like same thing in a sense. Like if you want to go somewhere, you got to reach out. You got to be places where you need to be. So I know like obviously you have connections with like K-Camp and being at that studio. Is there other connections? Like, can you talk about the other connections that you built? Because girl, you build connections. You be connecting, and that's important in this industry and music in general.
I met a producer, True Story G. He's not a producer, but he's an artist who's real tight with K-Camp. So I worked with him. I met a lot of his sessions. This producer Key Man, that's my dog. I met him originally. Shout out Key. I originally met him in April, and then he reached out. I moved to Atlanta in November. In August, and then he reached out to me in November, and was like, "Hey, can you pull up and do like a studio vlog?" And since then, we've been super locked in. And then I met Seti Hendrix through Key. It's just networking is just so incredibly crucial, and I have learned that the past year I've been living in Atlanta. And I've just met so many people since then. I've worked with Honcho. So many people. I'm at a loss right now, but just so many amazing people. Like I was at a studio with No Cap and Rylo Rodriguesz the other day, which was like an awe moment for me, or like a surreal moment for me. I've just worked with a group of people, like so many people that I never,
Dang, like that's crazy. No, that's crazy. I'm so proud to see like all the people that in a sense you've collaborated with, like Kalii, Leilani. Now, who else again, for real, like?
DC Young Fly.
Right. And it's like, oh, wait, even DC Young Fly, like, you're not only doing events that are just, like, in the studio type timing, but continue.
Like comedians, Low Shimmy, he's an upcoming artist from Tallahassee. I've been working a lot in Tallahassee. 2C, DJ Drama, Lil Reek. Yeah. So I'm excited. And those are all artists that I feel like a lot of those that I just named, I feel like I'm building relationships with them where, it's going to create longevity. And, I really try to, and I think I do pretty well, like create relationships with people that I work with. It's not just like one and done or like, you know what I mean? So.
Right. Yeah. It's like, no, yeah, that's important to definitely create relationships with people for real because, yeah, like, everyone's connected, everyone's needed, like everyone's essential. So
it's a small world,
Yeah, and like, how's like your creative process when you go about doing certain projects with, with these big artists or just doing certain projects with producers? Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
For me, it fluctuates. My creative process is super up and down. I'll think, the best videographer, photographer out there, and then I'll be like, oh, this is hard, and then I'll think I'm like trash, and then you know what I mean. It just really fluctuates, but the end all goal is just that I'm creating, and I find a lot of peace in the fact that I'm just creating, and I think my work is hard. I really think I'm dope at what I do. So
no, period. And I definitely can attest to that and agree because even like how. And it connects back to, like, how you say building relationships. Like, sometimes people might not remember what you said, but people will always remember how you feel. And I feel like the energy that you give, partly showing in your dedication to your art, and then also on top of it, like, how you treat people, that matters. Because that's why people probably want you again and again and again and again because of, like, how you make them feel. Yeah. And, And I feel like that connects with photography, what photography is about, like, creating memories, Yeah. Period. So, I know you got a lot going on. Type timing, like, I know you got a lot going on. So how do you balance, in a sense, like, being a videographer and photographer and just, like, life in general?
Man, I would say that photography and me working my way into videography keeps me grounded through all my personal problems and all, like, everything that happens in my personal life, because I feel as though this is my purpose and something that I'm super passionate about. And so that keeps me grounded throughout any problems that I have. So that in itself is a huge, like, navigator throughout my life. But, I just, I pray a lot and, I try to be the energy that I want to receive. And I think that guides me a lot of the time. And just being grateful for everything. The good. And I would say the good and the bad, but everything is good when you really think about it. Like, right. I really feel like it's a mindset and you're going to attract more and more things that you want and that you deserve when you put out the energy that you want to receive. So.
Period. I'm happy on that. You already know how it is. Go vibes only. So.
Period.
Yeah, you draw in the energy. Law of attraction, like, you draw in the energy that you give out. So I definitely agree with that. And honestly, so proud of you. And I respect how much, like, you said that, like, photography is where your comfort zone is. Photography is where, like, you find balance, you find peace. And to do that as a living is even dope. So what would you say, like, because obviously, like, I definitely agree. Looking at the good side will always, like, take you a long way. Yeah. So what would be your, like, advice kind of to give to, like, those that are, like, aspiring to chase their dreams in a sense, like, and make their passion, like, a living? Like, what would you say?
I can't say advice, but I can tell you my truth. And that would just be, don't shrink yourself to fit in spaces. Because you're always going to be in the wrong space or in the wrong field or in the wrong career if you feel like you have to shrink yourself to make other people feel comfortable. Like, I personally, I don't feel like I can feel like I can be my full authentic self in every space and walk into every room knowing I was sent there in what I do. And I don't think I could do anything that I couldn't walk into a room like that and be happy in it and be able to do it for a lifetime, or making me want to be able to do it for a lifetime, because I don't want to ever feel like I have to shrink myself or can't be my full, like I want to be able to spread out, you know what I mean, and be everything that I am. So my advice would be to just make sure that you can spread out and be who you are, and don't change for people, because the right people will love you for being, who you are. So.
Period. That's real. Okay, yeah, it connects back to, thank you, Jalen, for being here. Shout out to Jalen. Jalen's in the building. I'm going to play that.
Pretty girl Jay.
Pretty girl Jay, period. She's in the building. So grateful for, behind the scenes and staff and just everyone here. But, so, no, it really does connect back to law of attraction and connecting. When you are yourself, you attract that energy. You attract good vibes. You attract that. And honestly, I'm grateful to have you as a friend, for a person who's in the media industry, like, who understands like that vision, that goal. You know what I'm trying to say? And I feel like it's important also to surround yourself for whatever you're doing with people that support you, and also sometimes are in the same influence and field,
Yes, because it can get treacherous out here.
It really could get treacherous out here. Period. It really can. But you know what? We got God. I'm going to tell you that.
Period.
We got God.
Amen.
So another thing also y'all should get is friends who pray. Like, pray with your friends. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
The friends you pray with, stay with.
Period. And, that's something that we've been talking about a lot, especially over the past year. God and stuff. And, can you talk about, your relationship with God and just growing in faith and stuff? Because a lot of things that you're doing, it seems leap of faith. You feel me?
Yeah. I actually get this question off camera a lot of the time, because I did not grow up with a religious family or even a spiritual family. Like, my grandparents went to church. Both my parents grew up Catholic. But in my household growing up, church was not spoken of, like, really. Like, I had no sense of, like, what God was, or, like, who God was, or what it was to me, or, like, even what it was to my parents. It just was not spoken of. And so when I had moved to Boston after I graduated high school, I was 18, and I was, like, needed something. Like, and I was on my own for the very first time, like, really on my own.
Right.
And I kind of cultivated this relationship with God in my own way. And, like, I honestly am so grateful that I didn't grow up in a religious household, only because it forced me to do it on my own and make it for my own, But now I'm in a space where I'm super faithful. I'm, like, led by faith and not sight. I pray every day. I have a devotional, and it's very, like, sacred to me, because I did it on my own. Like, you know what I mean? I did it on my own. Like, I initiated it. Nobody fed it into me.
That's
and it makes it that much harder at times, but it makes it that much more, like, fulfilling, because I initiated it for myself. And I love that. I just love that for me, because I just love that for me.
Right. I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you.
And now I've attracted all these people that also have strong faith and, like, feed into me when it comes to that, which is, like, the most reassuring thing. Like, the people that are not your family, but are your family now, because they feed the things into you that you are feeding into yourself, and God feeds into you. So,
period. Love that for you. Happy for you. And I just want to say, God is love. So if you're somewhere and you feel love, it's most likely it's God. You know what I'm trying to say? Just to say, God is love. So, God is love. Love. That's all I got to say.
Remember.
Love. Period. Okay. So, also, in general, when it comes to, being in the media scene, because that's what photographers are, we tend to, dibble dabble in different areas. I call myself jack of all trades, because, someone asked me to shoot.
I'm going to do it.
I think I got a birthday.
Time today.
You feel me? I think I got a birthday shoot next week, if you know, you know. You know what I mean? Like, period. So I know that you also dibble-dabble in different interests and different things in media. Can you, in a sense, talk about what you got coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say, too much as far as, like, what's coming up, but because I'm you know, but I'm in the studio a lot to record, to get footage and everything. And I grew up writing a lot of poetry. So I'm dipping in songwriting, and I am songwriting for a few, people you listen to. And yeah, songwriting is different in the A&R world is intriguing to me. And I'm just around a lot of A&Rs and a lot of songwriters. And yeah, we'll see. I know it's coming, so whenever it comes, it will. But yeah, that's kind of what along with various other things, but that's the two main other things that I'm kind of like testing the waters out with, and just learn it. Like, I'm trying to soak up as much information as I can, because I'm just around so many talented, educated, like wise people in the industry right now. So, I'm just learning to shut up and just absorb, like be a sponge. So,
no, that's real. That's real. That's real. That's real. Well, excited for, your adventures and endeavors that are coming up next. Anything's possible. Boom, boom, boom. So, before we close out, is there any good vibes of wisdom? You've been spitting gems, all night, but is there any specific, like, good vibes of wisdom that you want to give? This could be to aspiring photographers. This could be to Atlanta, Boston, or just anyone in general.
Okay. This is just the first thing that came to my head. But don't sleep on anybody. Don't sleep on anybody. Like, I really want to, people are going to do to each its own, but don't sleep on anybody, because the people you're sleeping on and the people that you're hating on, or maybe just, you don't know. You know what I mean? I don't sleep on anybody, because you don't know. And I feel like I give every person like the benefit of the doubt, and like I feel like everything is an interview. You know what I mean? Every person you meet, you don't know who they're going to be or who they are. So I just say treat everyone with respect and decency and kindness, and just don't sleep on anybody, because I am and I was slept on, and I'm already waking people up a little bit. So yeah,
say that twice.
Yeah,
say that twice.
And I'd hate if they're just waking up now. Like, I'm still being slept on, and I'm okay with that. Also, be okay with being slept on. Like, know that people are going to sleep on you, and that's okay. Let them sleep. Let them get their rest, and then you can wake them up in a few years. Like, that part.
Heavy on that.
And just I just want to do a shout out to my friend. Like, I remember she used to talk about this before it was even, the world even saw this, her podcast. And, she's worked so hard for this. And to see it, like, watch it before it was even a thing. And now it's a beautiful thing. So I'm proud of you, friend.
Appreciate you. And I appreciate your support as well. Like, it means a lot every time.
We're locked in.
We locked in.
For life.
And yeah, more stuff coming soon from us. Actually, you know what I'm trying to say? More coming soon. But yeah, that's about it. I think, some light. Someone too. All the vibes when you're looking for vibes. Peace.
Very good.